Very good evening and welcome all to Vaidya's Chess Hub. And how are you? By the way, this is an important session for most because of the agenda that we have. We are first going to deal with the checkmate in three positions. And then eventually we will also go ahead and talk about the knockout tournament. We are going to organize a knockout tournament, and the last date for your entry is tomorrow. So please, on our WhatsApp group, make sure our members, those who have still not told me about it, about their entry, your participation, make sure that you follow that deadline. Now, in addition to this, let me tell you that I'm going to share an image with you about our previous knockout tournament, just to explain the whole process, because it's going to be a double elimination. And of course, I will ask you in the chat corner if you have had any experience in the past about the knockout tournaments, if you have played them ever, and so on and so forth. So at the moment, that's on the agenda. Let's get started. For a couple of minutes, I'll like to read some comments. So let's go into the chat corner, and then let us start with our stream. All right. So there are a lot of people saying hi, sir. There's Saumitra there. There's Purvesh Kulkarni. I think Mohit Patel is there. And by the way, there was an interesting chat line by none other than Namish, who says hi from USA and hi from Western India. Well, that was something really incredible. Absolutely. Okay. And well, I think that we are definitely in a position now to start with the first position. It's checkmate in 3. Let's head straight to the training room. And by the way, we have also created an analysis room for you. I'll explain the whole procedure of how that works exactly. All right. So this is our training room. Now you're well aware about this particular scene. And today it's checkmate in 3. Now I always like it when it is pure and it is very clear about what your goal is. Checkmate in 3, checkmate in 3. There is no two-way about it. It's not just to gain some advantage. It's not to win a piece. Checkmate is checkmate. That's why it's one of the best tools to teach chess and to arouse that interest. So all of you are welcome to answer. What we will do is, whenever there is this position, I will explain the position, probably take you through the insights and show you some important aspect in that from that position. Then I'm going to take you to the analysis room, where you will have exactly 2 minutes to type your variations and your answers. Then we come back to this training room, and we will finish the position and go on to the next one. Okay, so let's take a look at this position. Queen for both and 2 rooks for both. It is black to play, and here you will see that the pawns are more with white, but it's black to play, and black has winning position here because look at the queen and look at the rooks. They are definitely in business. So try to think of checkmate in 3 moves here. It is black to play. Okay, I'll take you now to the game room, rather to the analysis room, and leave you with a couple of minutes to think. Make sure that you properly do analysis and type all the variations, the possible variations. Seniors, give them some time, only then start your typing. Okay. All right, guys, the time is up. And mind you, that people said that they probably cannot see the board. They said because of the board color. Well, I'm not going to do anything in that regard. And coming from the monitor, that's pretty strange. The idea is that the board coordinate should not be that all that much visible. In fact, that is the idea. And the board, as far as I'm concerned, is perfectly square. There's no problem. So I don't understand RIP square board. It is perfectly square. The monitor is rectangular, but the chessboard is perfectly square. That's it. All right, so let's get started. Now, people have answered this correctly. Many of you, rather most of you, have done it correctly. I'm so proud of you. Well, it starts with a rook sacrifice, and then later when, not that white cannot, white cannot afford to just play something else. He has to take the rook. It's pretty much forced. And then you have to remember that you have to take with the queen and not the rook, because otherwise king will have this escape square or escape route via the square f2. So it's very important you make the next capture with the queen, and eventually there is this checkmate that shall happen the next. So let's do it. So rook takes g3 check, the pawn took, and you don't take it with the rook. As I said, it's important to note that the king will have an escape square. So you take with the queen, and that took care of that f2 square. And now you just move your queen to h3 and it is checkmate. Notice how the queen and the rook take care of all the escape squares, and it's just checkmate. Now, by the way, you all did this position incredibly well. And I must say that we are definitely all right and all okay to power through to the next position. I'm sure you'd love that. Okay. All right, let's go to the next position here. And Jay probably will keep the score as usual. Jay, I'm sure you will love to keep the score. So please, 1 out of 1 for all of us. Guys, this next position is white to play. Let me show you some dynamics. Black has just gotten a queen. It's very important, guys. Black has just made a queen, okay? Pawn's gotten promoted. So it's very important you realize that. But still, it's white who will win because of the advanced pawns. And look at our king. It's going to play an important role. Made in 3 from here, and you should love such positions simply because the opponent has a queen and still you will win. Checkmate in 3 moves. I'll take you to the analysis room now, and as usual you'll have 2 minutes to come up with the answer. Okay. All right, the time is up. And by the way, people there is absolutely no lag whatsoever. It is funny how people think that if there is a lag, only they understand and I don't understand. Why do you worry about the lag? If there is a lag, I'll tell you that there is a lag. If you experience the lag, then that is problem at your end. Unless I mention that there is a lag, or there is no lag whatsoever. Instead of focusing on that and trying to get a chat line for yourself, typing LAG, see to it that you work on the position at hand. So here we go. There is no lag whatsoever. Yes, it starts with a pawn check and the king is forced to G8. Now, some people said that it was H8, and especially some seniors actually, did the fastest possible calculation. They did that with King H8. They thought that it was King H8. Now, the thing I want to add is that there is King G8 variation, which some seniors are typing right now, which they should have done in the 2 minutes allotted. That is a better thing to do. So here King G8 is the variation. Now, how will we proceed with that? Everybody has done the calculation with King H8. So it's very important that you realize that when I mention it in the notifications that you have to calculate all the variations. You have to calculate all the variations. How did you assume that it was King H8? And I'm so happy that the computer chose King H8 and not King G8 and not King H8. It's very important. Swaroop has just joined us. Swaroop, hi, how are you? We are doing fine. It's checkmate in 3. And we started with the first move correctly. So king to G8 is the new move here. Now, Chinmay says that, sir, it was I who had actually calculated that and I typed it, and he is right. He typed that before I actually started the explanation. So it is still the H7. There's a bishop sacrifice here. There's a bishop sacrifice here. I'll show you. The thing is, you give the H7 check. Oh, he didn't take that. It's surprising. Again, Chinmay, you didn't calculate that. See, 2 minutes are there for you to do the entire calculation. Now, I'm sure that even seniors now realize that there are actually so many things to do. Believe me, there are so many things here to do. Chinmay did calculate King G8, but then again he said after H7, King takes F8. The bishop sacrifice. But again, you see there's King H8 as well. So next time, make sure that there are a lot of variations. The king takes F8 is not the line here. So please, next time, please remember that. And by the way, Vyang Gone will be excused because he has a lot of lag at his end. His internet is not exactly smoothest ever at the moment. Okay. So now bishop G7 check is what is the next move. Kavish, absolutely right. Wonderful. Bishop to G7 is check. And it's not just check, in fact it is checkmate. So mind you that whenever I give you time to think, that you have to realize this, that you have to calculate the entire thing. You cannot just calculate one variation and be very overly satisfied with what you have done. That is why you have been given those 2 minutes. And now this is right. We can power through to the next position. By the way, very good. This is awesome. The animation that I have thought with the transparent imaging is pulling it off quite well. The next position is black to play again, and 2 pieces are on the 7th rank for black, the rook and the queen. It's always the death knell. So queen and a rook for black, but an extra piece for black, for us that is. White has knight for the rook. The pawns are balanced, 4 pawns each, but clearly the open G file and the rook and the queen on the 7th rank, they are going to be crucial. I will leave you with the analysis room and a couple of minutes to think. Make sure that you type something other than questioning whether there is a lag or something like that. Focus on all the possible variations. The more cleanly and crisply you can calculate, the better you will get. Believe you me. Okay, all the best. All right, guys, time is up. And again, by the way, again, something that is very important. What is important is which rook takes that pawn on g2. Yeah, fine, rook takes g2, but both the rooks can take the g2 pawn. Again, I'm saying the moment you think that okay, you have it all sorted, you don't. Trust me, you don't. When you say rook takes g2, both the rooks can take on g2. Both the rooks cannot take on g2 because the other rook is pinned. Okay, so please bear in mind that that's not possible. So those who have done that extra work is actually quite unnecessary. The other rook is pinned. Just a quick humor intended. This rook is already pinned, cannot take that. So those who actually tried to be very methodical, good that you observe that both the rooks can take. But the other rook is pinned. So anyway, the answer is rook takes g2, and it will be rook takes g2 because the other rook is pinned. Had the king moved to the f1 square, would have been queen f2 mate, which we shall see soon. Yeah, this is the mate in 3. However, at this point, had the white moved to the square f1, then queen f2 would have been checkmate. It would have been faster. That way, it would have really been faster. So rook f takes g2 is quite unnecessary. There's no real reason for that. Now, there is something that I have noticed in the chat that, well, okay, our dear Swaroop says he's tried the membership, but it's not working. Well, this one, Swaroop, is for you. Well, good thing that you tried for the membership, and I'm really happy. Oh, that is simply phenomenally awesome, Swaroop. But the thing is that the membership is working fine. What must have happened is that you must have selected for the payment option that YouTube does not accept. So you must have the RuPay card or something. You need only the MasterCard that actually they allow. If you really want to take a membership, well, you can be a part and request. Send an email. I will share my number with you and be on the WhatsApp, and I'll send you the NEFT details, and that is the more direct way to be a member of the Vaidya's Chess Hub. If that's the case that you don't have the MasterCard or the required payment mode, it's very important that you do that. Okay, but I am very happy, as I said, that you are doing this now. Yeah, sure, the next position, and Jai will probably go ahead and type the score for us. We are at 100% score. The next position is black to play. Again, a clear case where you have the opponent who is just promoted, and he has a queen, and we have the pawn in a dominating position. And how nice it would be if the pawn delivers the checkmate. That would be exceptionally good, is it not? 2 minutes for you starting now, and I will see you at the end of these 2 minutes. We'll deal with this position, then we'll have a chat break. Okay, all the best, guys, all the best. Okay, guys, the time is up. And by the way, let me tell you that small things do matter. What Yatharth is doing in the chat, if you will see, Yatharth is doing a good job. What he is doing is he's typing the moves ever so correctly. So there's move number 1, then because it is black to play, there is dot dot dot. Then he starts with the moves. The move number 2, they end, the sequence ends, then he types 0-1. Everything is so perfect. Every time you do things in such a way, you will notice that your skills are improving, and at a later stage you will definitely feel that you did a good thing when your basics are right. So please bother to type move number 1, and especially if it is black to play, then move number 1 dot dot dot. You have 2 minutes, why won't you use it properly? So Yathar, I have noticed this, and congratulations, you're doing a good job. Now for the answer. Well, we were wanting the checkmate with a pawn, and boy, was our prayer answered. A pawn check. By the way, I wonder why Namish said no idea. Well, you could have definitely at this stage thought about the pawn check, right? I'm not saying that that would have been the answer. Here it is. But why do you just quickly say no idea? Like, I give you some time to think, and Namish is like, no idea. The moment I give you the analysis room, you call it analysis room. The moment Namish gets there, he says no idea. Then why do you think I have allowed you the 2 minutes of thinking time? I will take your no idea at the end of 2 minutes. At least hold your no idea, type it, but don't press enter until the end of 2 minutes. It's quite funny. How do you expect to know everything the moment I take you to the analysis room? When you go to the analysis room, you have 2 minutes. Wait for 2 minutes, think for 2 minutes, and then probably you might have an idea. It's funny how you just enter the analysis room with 2 minutes still left with you, and you say no idea. That's funny. Okay. And next time you do that, you get an LOL. Okay. So this is what it is. The pawn check. The king is pushed back. We continue with a pawn check. And finally, there is queen checkmate. So guys, once again, we are free to power through to the next position. I love this. 3 out of 3 and we are powering through. By the way, I'm proud of all those who are doing all the calculations very neatly, very accurately. They mean business, okay? Now we are going to enter a chat break where I would probably ask you a question. Please make sure that now, whatever it is that you have to chat, you do that in the next 2 minutes of the chat break. Even something casual that you want to talk or ask, okay, do that. All right. So people definitely have answered. Most of them say no. Some of them have played before. Some of them have played it very much at the Vaidya's Chess Hub previously. Was waiting for Vihang's reply, but maybe the internet is very hopeless for him today, and that is the reason why I did not get any answer from him. By the way, let me tell you something very interesting. This is a double elimination, and it's very important. Whenever it is a double elimination, here is what you should know. It's time to tell you more about it. The double elimination means that you get one chance. Even if you lose one match, well, it is knockout tournament, make no mistake, but you get one chance. So if you lose a game, you get one chance. But then at any stage after that, if you lose a game, that means you would have lost for the second time, you're out of it. So when you have a double elimination, you just get that one more shot at the championship, and that can be utilized at any stage. Just see the fun in this, okay? What I'm saying is that you can utilize this at any stage. So let's say you won the first round, you won the second round. Unfortunately, in the third round, you lost. But still, it's your first loss, right? You get a chance. And why am I saying this in all this detail is because there is a funny, rather interesting, not funny exactly, but there is an interesting precedent. We all know our senior student Vihang. Now, some few days ago, probably last week was it, I shared an image with you on WhatsApp. You would have noticed that the finalist, Yogesh sir, he actually lost for the first time in the entire knockout tournament. For the first time, he lost in the finals. And that's why we had to play the final again, because everybody deserves one more chance. So that is how the double elimination helps you. So this is just to spice things up. Normally in a knockout game, well, you lose one game, you're out of it. But since it is only one game that we play and not like 3 games, it's not a duel. So it will be a double elimination process. And let me know if you've perfectly understood this process now. That simply means you get one more chance. But of course, if you lose for the second time, then it's all over. Okay. Let's now head straight to the training room and go on to the next position. The next position is black to play. And again, you would see that there is queen, there are 2 rooks for white, there is a bishop for white. Black is lacking material, but the position is winning. And what matters are not the pieces that are there, but the active pieces. So I'm sure that dark colors are weak. That's a big clue for you. The dark colors are definitely weak, and black has to exploit that weakness. How it is that black will win? It is checkmate in 3 moves. I'm going to take you now to the analysis room, where Namish might just think about thinking. Namish might think about thinking, and maybe we'll come up with some answers. It is black to play. Okay, enjoy. All right, guys, the time is up. And again, it's a very earnest request not to assume just because you get a lag, there is a lag. I'm again saying, why would you go ahead and type lagging in the chat? If there is lag, wouldn't I, the streamer, tell you about it? So until and unless I tell you about it, rest assured that from my end, things are smooth. You check the things from your end. Don't worry about the lag and other stuff. So what's the answer here? Now we were talking about the, the dark diagonal that is weak for white. So we can exploit that weakness. And how is it that we can exploit it? Well, the point is that it's very simple. You start with the queen check, and it is queen d4 check. Again, Yatharth, if you see, if you had noticed in the chat, with one dot 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 queen d4 check, he does that. He does that every time. So you utilize this fact that the dark diagonal is so weak, this queen d4 check. Now this rook is just undefended. We go about taking that, and finally it is queen to b2 checkmate with the help of this knight. That is incredibly well done, and I have no doubts that you know what's coming up. We can definitely go ahead and power through. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Love that animation, by the way. Position is done and dusted. So Jay will go ahead and type the score. Please do so. And allow me to go to the next position. This is white to play. Let me show you some dynamics of this position. Queens for both, two rooks for both, a minor piece for us, but two minor pieces for our opponent. Now this is very important. It is white to play, and we have a minor piece less. Okay, so but this is the one position probably that we have done previously, if I'm not wrong. I think we did this, right? I think we just did this. Guys, let's not waste time on this position, because I think we have done this position in maybe the last stream. How many people agree with that? I think we did this position. So I'm not going to bother you with 2 minutes here. I'm going to finish it myself. It starts with the queen takes check, and then you don't take with the queen first, because if the rook takes, we lose control over h7. So we should take first with this rook here. And the moment the rook takes, then you have this wonderful checkmate on the square g8, because ultimately, as I said, you wanted control over h7. So I didn't waste your time, because I believe that we had done this position before. Let's spend some time on this position. This looks new. We've not done that in our streams. I'm good at memory, by the way, understandably, as a chess coach. So in this position, we have queens for both, one rook for white, but two rooks for black. So there is a rook deficit, two minor pieces for both. The king definitely doesn't look great, and that is what is the weakness here. Our king looks okay on g1, but black king on d8 is just horrible. So go ahead, take your own time. This is white to play. I'll take you to the analysis room now. Make sure that you type in the entire variation with all the possible variations. Okay, go ahead and then think. All right, guys. So now let me tell you, this time there is a minor lag. Sure, for the past few seconds. For the past few seconds, but it's restored. Okay, now hopefully there won't be a major lag. Hopefully. Now everybody did this, and the name for this one, I call it the Queen's Gallop. You put this into any engine. Now I'm saying this. You put this in any engine, such positions. Rather, if you try to Google this, like what's the most deadliest combination for a checkmate in chess, they'll say queen and knight together, they make up a lovely combination for checkmate. I repeat, queen and the knight together is the deadliest combination in chess. Queen and knight combination. So it is here that you will notice that will come to good effect. The queen and the knight together will inflict this wonderful checkmate that I'm about to show you. Okay, here we go. So you have this queen check, then the knight hops along, and then the queen takes on b7, which is a mate. This is just spectacular, and I love this. Okay, now you know what we are going to do. Power through to the next position, and no doubt that we are doing a good job. As of now, it's just excellent, and I have no doubt that you also have 100% score like me. However, the juniors should be very honest. If they are not at 100%, well, they should say so. Okay. Now the next position is black to play. Queen, no queens, two rooks, and oh, there's bishop, extra bishop for our opponent. We just have two rooks. Take your time, do this. After this, we will go into a chat break again, and then I have a question, and make sure that you answer that. 2 minutes for you. All right, guys, the time is up, and well, let's go ahead and see the answer. Well, most of you had calculated this correctly. I'm really, really very happy. The answer here is definitely the rook checking the king with the help of the pawn there. So the right answer is rook check. Then you bring the other rook to the 7th rank. We push the king back and tuck it in the corner. And these are now going to be our friendly pieces. These are called friendly pieces because now this will just be a simple checkmate. These are called friendly pieces. They just obstruct their own king's movements and they restrict the king's independence. I love this position. I love such positions where the opponent's pieces, they help us. How good is that? How good is that, I say, okay? It's incredible indeed. Now, again, time for us to go into the chat room, and what we will do is we will answer a simple question, but make sure that you go about chatting and talking about everything and anything that you have on your minds that you cannot do whilst the positions are going on. So let's go to the chat room now. All right, thanks for your contributions. You have answered well. People have very clear opinion about who their opponent should be. In fact, Mohit goes on to say that well, my opponent could be monitored. And by the way, aren't the Patils going to clash? They are, right. They are going to clash in the cricket match that we have planned for them. That's a very, very interesting encounter that's going to happen. By the way, yes, what's the seeding and how is the toss done and everything? I will help you out with everything to that regard. But the last date for entry is tomorrow. So those who are asking for more information about how the seeding is done, what should be the pairings, the time control. Well, I have told you the time control for uh, the first leg, is it not? The first round is 7 plus 3, but as we approach the business end, the time control increases. I'm also going to create special spectators room for all. And I'm sure that you're going to love that. Okay. So we'll do that. I will explain you what are the seedings, how the toss is done, how will the players who lose, how will they avail of the second chance using the diagram. I will do that. There is this winners area and there is the losers area. So if you lose once, you come into the losers area, and then again you have to come up because you got the extra chance. Okay, that one chance. Don't worry about it. I'll talk about it at length. But let's see. First, I need the total number of entries. So tomorrow is the last date. So maybe tomorrow after the stream, maybe I'll have a final idea about the exact number of participants, and then I will be in a position to reveal all the details. But don't you worry, I'm going to talk about everything in detail. Absolutely. Rest assured. The moment, let's go straight to the training room for the next position. Here we have what is black to play. Looks like an easy position. But let's see if you can see what kind of tactic you will have to use. Let's finish this very quickly. There's nothing much to say except that black is just completely winning. When you type the answer, you can go ahead and actually tell me what kind of weakness is black going to exploit here. Okay, 2 minutes. Okay, guys, the time is up. And by the way, I did ask you to actually go ahead and type what the name of this tactic is. How is black going to win here? What is the name of the tactic? And the name of the tactic is back rank checkmate. That is what you are going to utilize here. Remember the word, okay? Back rank checkmate. Now, how is that? You're going to tuck the king to h1 square and then sacrifice. It's not exactly a sacrifice. You will also get the queen in return. But then rook will eventually checkmate on f1. So that's the checkmate there, okay? Let's do that. It's the queen check. Now you sacrifice here. This is the back rank checkmate. Please be mindful of that. Okay? Very nice. So you now know what we are going to do. Power through to the next position. That is just fantastic. Love that. Okay. Wonder what happened to the blast though. Didn't get the blast. Was the computer not happy with the way we did this or what? Now talking about the cricket match, we will like to talk about that, is it not? Patil versus Patil. Well, the thing is, if you remember, we discussed about this and they were free after 15. So that's tomorrow. So probably we can have that on the 16th. So 16th April we'll try to have the cricket match. But of course I'll send more information on WhatsApp. When we played the last match, I remember we discussed that it would be better after 15. After 15, Avdut said I'm completely free, if you remember. So we will keep it on the 16th, but more on WhatsApp. At the moment, let's head straight to the training room for the next position. White to play. Bishop, knight, queen. This rook is ready to come into the attack. That is overwhelming material. It's as much as you need to inflict a checkmate. What else can I say? Utilize those things and calculate checkmate in 3 for white. All right, guys, the time is up. And by the way, it is very funny when the students share the wrong answer. Isn't it checkmate in three moves? Everybody knows that by now, that it is checkmate in three moves. And still there are people who are so confident, like knight e7 check, no matter what black plays, queen takes h7 is checkmate. Wouldn't that be checkmate in two? When you know that the puzzle is checkmate in three, why would you say that? Tell me. So after knight e7 check, bishop takes, and the king gets that f8 square. Just remember that. That's why you have to take good care. Okay. I'm sure that now you are getting it. Okay. Don't say no matter what. That's such a wrong variation. Such a wrong thing to say no matter what. It's not no matter what. So now, is it just checkmate? Kavish, tell me. Ayush, tell me. Is it checkmate? Doesn't the king have the f8 square? You said in the chat. I read the chat. You said in the chat. No matter what. No matter what, it is checkmate. That's not how it is. Not no matter what. Now it is checkmate. So you did need three moves there. You did need three moves there. You should deduct half a point for that. It's not about, no doubt about that. The others, definitely, we can go ahead and power through. Now, by the way, so did we get that? No, did we not get that? Anyway, yes, finally, eventually we did get the blast. Finally, eventually. I was waiting for this blast for a long time now. Let's go to the next position. Jay will type the score. I hope he is doing that. It's yet again white to play. Queens and two rooks for both. This time the material is balanced. This time our king is also not all that super safe. The queen is definitely there. Could be a perpetual, who knows. Think about it and calculate checkmate in 3. Don't tell me that the checkmate in 3 can be done as checkmate in 2, when in reality you cannot do that. Okay, take 2 minutes. All right, guys, the time is up. And good thought process. Queen c3 check, but is Kavish copying all the answers? Don't do that. If you are doing that, go ahead and take your own efforts and go ahead and type it. So what's the answer here? You're just going to take that pawn or take the rook and give the checkmate? Yes, because then you will drive the rook out of the middle, out of the back rank, and then put your rook on the back rank to deliver the checkmate. That's how you're going to do it. So queen takes f6 check. Then you have rook a8 check. And finally rook takes rook is a check. Notice the role of this rook doesn't allow the king to come up the board. That is fantastic. There's no doubt about that. We powered through this position. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And I feel that now we should go ahead and deal with our second last position. Maybe, yeah, we'll do one more position. More than that. We'll be able to do at the most 2 more positions. And let's go ahead and immediately get to the next position. Queen and a rook, queen and a rook. Again, this is back rank weakness. Let us do this immediately. Let's not send you to the analysis room here because this is the same kind of motive that we saw a few positions earlier. So this is the back rank weakness. How do we inflict a checkmate here? What do we do here, guys? Simple, right? This one is simple. Because this is just the exact same back rank weakness I was talking about. So you should do something to tuck the king at the back rank, the mercy of these 2 pawns. Then you could deliver a back rank checkmate. Is it not? There you are. The first move is queen f7 check. Tuck the king inside. And there is queen check. Finally, have this wonderful checkmate. That is absolutely brilliant. But this one I totally enjoyed. No doubt about it. This one did not even need us to go into the training room or the analysis room rather. This one was done far too easily. Let's deal with the next position. But nonetheless, Jai should go ahead and type the score correctly. Another of these back rank issues. So I think that's the biggest thing we are learning today in this stream. The back rank weakness exploited. Go ahead. Again, there's no room. There's no analysis room that should be necessary for this. Go ahead and calculate this. This is also a back rank weakness to be exploited. Should be very easy. What are you going to do here? Should be easy. It's a very easy position. Yep. Queen sacrifice. Don't you love these positions? Queen sacrifice. So queen takes, and then you set up a nice back rank. Okay. There you go. This kind of checkmate is a back rank checkmate. Someone should go ahead and type in the chat the back rank checkmate. Can we do one more? Yeah, as a bonus position, let's do one more position, the last for today, and then we will stop. It was a wonderful session indeed, indubitably, whatever you want to call it. So Jai, keep the score please. Next position and the last position for today. Ooh, this one is nice. Now you definitely need to be in the game room. Queen and bishop for both, but white's position is very active, and that is why you will definitely enjoy solving this. Make sure that you solve this. Enjoy. All right, guys, the time is up. And by the way, wonderful, really wonderful effort by most of you. That is just fantastic. When it's made in three, and all the three moves are made by the queen, that's when you know that the position is really interesting. It's a queen check, it's the queen check, and it's the queen checkmate. That's incredible. I love such positions. So this queen e6 check, then there is not this check, okay? Otherwise, there's possibility that pawn takes pawn. So you go ahead with the queen f7 check. In chess, you know what they say, when a pawn or any piece moves, it stops doing what it was doing. So now the queen gets the control over this h7 square because of this last pawn move. And queen takes h7 is just check and mate. We powered through. And by the way, it's the last position that we actually were going to do today. Now, before we stop, let's make an appeal to the people who probably are not with us on this stream, but they have agreed that they are going to play in the knockout tournament, and have that message passed on to your friends. Make sure that you attend our live sessions, because tomorrow, after I know how many, what's the exact number of participants, I'm going to plan out and create the seedings. We are going to talk about what the seedings are, when we are going to do the toss, what are the exact timings, what is the winner's bracket and the loser's bracket. I'm going to explain everything, but that happens on the live stream, not on WhatsApp. So I urge all those who are playing, for example, Pragya. So I don't see Pragya in the chat here. But make sure that all those who are your friends, they know that they should attend these live sessions, because that's when we will discuss more about it in detail. For now, we will stop, but well played. So finally, we are at 100% score, I hope. And on the 16th, we'll try to finish that cricket match that we were talking about. Mohit Patel versus Avadut Patel. That's the match that's coming up. Meanwhile, Jay is actually developing this app based on my game. I'm really happy at that. Thank you so much all for joining. We will definitely stop for now. Tomorrow is something special. When I play the games with seniors tomorrow, I'm going to play games tomorrow. Maybe what I'll try to do is I'll have certain conditions, and then they get to choose a number, sort of an envelope, and in that envelope there will be a special condition, and based on that condition alone I will have to play the game. So it will be interesting tomorrow. Okay, join me at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Please do take care. We'll stop for now. Bye bye.